Okay, so in this one, I want to talk a little bit about motivation in some more detail. So,
Yeah.
what kinds of motivation can people tap into as they're trying to get through college?
So there are two main types of motivators. You have your internal motivators, which is going to be what gets you through the long run. And then you have your external, which can kind of help with some short-term goals. I always like to tell people dig into those internal motivators, though, because those, again, that's what's going to carry you, even on the days where things you don't want to do. You're not motivated, right? You have to sometimes dig back in and say, oh, yeah, this is why I'm doing it. For example, an internal motivator would be in college situation, right? Like I want this career. I am working for something bigger than this moment right now, right? And
Yeah.
it's important to you. Why is it important to you? I know I've asked you that question
Sounds familiar.
thousands of times. Why is this important to
Yeah.
you? And that's try to find something internally.
Yeah.
Externally would be like, oh, I know I need a good grade.
Yeah.
Or, well, if I finish this, I'm done with this class, right? Like, that's great. That's an external motivator, but it's hard to sustain that then moving forward. Let's find something that's going to sustain you not through just this test or this homework
Yeah.
assignment, but through college.
Yeah. And I see that with students. Like on the first day, I ask them, what's your goal for the course? And a lot of students will say a certain grade, or they'll say, because I want to help future patients. So you can see it right on day one if they're extrinsically motivated, intrinsically motivated.
Yeah.
With that, is there some research or data that says one tends to be stronger than the other to help people through?
Yes. So you will see that when it comes to making specific behavior change, the internal motivator is going to pull you along further. That's what the data is showing because it's going to tie to things like your values. It's going to tie to what's important to you, like I mentioned earlier. It's going to tie to your future, right? Instead of just, in health and wellness, it's like, my wedding day, but then what, right?
Right.
Like I'm trying to get fit and in shape for my wedding day, but then what?
Yeah.
Like external motivators can be great for the short term, but it's that internal one that's really going to push you forward.
Yeah. And sometimes it's just, pulling it back, like the losing the forest through the trees, right? Like you have to kind
Yeah.
of pull back and be like, oh, yeah. Like I might be so zoomed in. I'm looking at this tree, this bark, but like, oh, yeah, there's a whole forest,
There's a whole forest
of reasons why I want to do the thing.
Yes. You're not going to wake up every day with I'm going to be an engineer, or I'm going
Yeah.
to conquer the world. And that's where you do have to dig in and say, you know what, I might not have 2 hours of studying in me, or I'm struggling with this paper. Maybe take a break.
Yeah.
Get up and walk. But ask yourself, another thing we've talked a lot about, what is the next best thing I can do for me so I can reset a little bit and keep that long-term motivation, that internal motivation in mind?
And I've given advice for students too along these lines to journal, like go back, dump, like brain dump some of this stuff out. Like writing it on paper is different than just thinking through it, but also putting like Post-it notes or notes on the bathroom mirror to remind them what those values are.
Yeah.
Just having it like a touch
visual.
point. Yeah.
Yeah, having visual reminders of what your motivation is, visual reminders of what your values are. I have you've done this before. What's your vision statement?
Yeah.
Where do you see yourself in 1 to 2 years? Could be 4 years if you're a freshman here, right? And why? Why do you want to get there? And then hang that up somewhere as a reminder, right? But break it down then. From there, it's like, what's next? How can I achieve that? And what do I need to do for me to make that happen?
Which is a great segue because our next video will go over goals.
I love it.